Hey everybody, welcome back to Restaurant Wraps, where restaurants get social. Apologize there, a long break. We had a bit of technical difficulties, but without further ado, let's bring in my next guest. You saw that video while we were on break of that fantastic event and some actually educational stuff and some good restaurant community things that are happening out there, and that is, I'm talking about Culintro, and I have the co-founders here with me, Stephanie Berghoff and Alina Munoz.
Culintro is a restaurant organization based in New York City. We right now have 10,000 members, and we host a variety of events, as well as the fastest growing job board.
So, based in New York City, how did this come to be? How did the two of you, because I think one of you is what's your backgrounds? One's design, one's marketing. So what's the background and how the two of you came together to create this?
Well, the background is I was doing PR for restaurants in New York, and Alina was working at Gourmet Magazine. And we realized there was really no community for restaurant professionals to unite with one another.
So how many members do you have to date?
10,000 members. We launched in New York about 3 years ago, and we're currently expanding to San Francisco in the Bay Area.
So expanding to San Francisco, so that's literally, jumping across the way. What made you choose San Francisco? I mean, I'm a Bostonian, so I'm a little biased here on the Boston side. Why go so far away? Why not stay closer to home?
I mean, that's an excellent question. Part of the reason is because, San Francisco is home to so many fine dining restaurants. We have already, great leads in the Napa and the Yountville area. There are a lot of leaders in the restaurant industry like Alice Waters and Thomas Keller, and we just want to make sure that, we are bridging together the East and the West coasts.
So where do most of your members come from? Because I noticed that there's a diverse group that attends you, because you hold different events for, whether even if it's an educational or a networking event, you hold different types of events for industry people, but how do you get them? Because I've seen design stuff that you have done. I've seen stuff strictly for the culinary field. So obviously very different. How does that come to be, and how do you bring them all together?
Our membership is made out of all professionals within the restaurant industry. So a large portion work at restaurants. We have architects and designers, media professionals, and all of our events, we host target different groups of these restaurant professionals. So our panel events are more educational based. That's where we've done the restaurant design event for 3 years now. And we do other networking events and late night events that are targeting chefs in the industry. They start at 11 p.m. and go till 1 a.m.
So they're finishing up their day and they're coming out to unwind and just meet other professionals.
Exactly. It's a way for them to network after work.
So if, regardless of what the event is, so if I'm a member and I come to one of your events, what should I expect to get out of it?
Networking. I think the thing that the restaurant industry doesn't have right now that so many other industries have are organizations that allow for networking opportunities. And what we see is, I was working at Gourmet, and when Stephanie was working in restaurant PR, we realized that chefs knew a lot of chefs, that architects and designers knew a lot of architects and designers, that media professionals knew a lot of media professionals. But when it came to sort of cross-pollination between all of these industries or these, professions within the restaurant industry, there really was no opportunity to bring everybody together under one roof. So it's really, an opportunity to expand your Rolodex, whether you're coming into the industry or whether you're looking to mentor within the industry. It's a way of broadening your contact list. And one of the reasons we're throwing these late night events is, as I'm sure you're familiar with, chefs have really difficult hours. They're in by, sometimes 9 or 10 in the morning, and sometimes service doesn't end till 1 or 2 at night. and then they're going, to a bar around the corner to share, a few beers with their restaurant colleagues. But by throwing these events, after hours, we're really encouraging chefs and cooks to come together in an organized way to meet each other.
So you also have a job board that you provide for industry, for restaurateurs to go out and find chefs, and I've seen management postings and what have you on there. Tell me a little bit about the job posting, and then also let's talk about your internship program.
Sure. Well, our job board we launched earlier this year, and it's become the fastest growing job board for restaurant professionals. Before Culintro, the only way to hire good restaurant staff was through Craigslist. So all of these restaurants that post on the job board are happy to see the applicants they receive through Culintro are a lot better for the positions they are looking to fill.
The internship program, that was also started at the beginning of Culintro, and an interesting part of the restaurant industry, especially the back of the house, is it's really apprenticeship based. And most fine dining cooks, when they first start, work in a kitchen, try to work in the best fine dining restaurants. But to get into some of these very high-end restaurants, to get your foot in the door, takes contacts and it takes networking. And whether you're a graduate of culinary school or whether you are just diving into the restaurant industry after high school, lots of students are looking to get into kitchens. And what we've been able to do with Culintro is support that effort. And if somebody applies on Culintro, we do a series of interviews, we do a vetting process, and we try to match that student up with the most appropriate restaurant for them. So if somebody in Boston, let's say, has been dying to work at, Alinea in Chicago, we will send, Chef Ackett's, a personal email that kind of describes that student, and we recommend them for his restaurant. And we do this for about 30 restaurants across the country.
About now, so all these universities, Culinary Institute of America, Johnson and Wales, these schools have large departments of people that they pay, to basically, guide these kids. They're career advisors, if you will, to do this. So what's the advantage of you doing it as opposed to the school actually doing it?
Well, the difference between, the career departments at schools versus Culintro is, a lot of these schools like Johnson and Wales are encouraging their students to get involved in banquet catering and cruise ships, in larger corporations where not all students want to be a part of, catering or banquets or, start their own bakery, but some of these students really want to get into the door with these fine dining restaurants. And, sometimes our relationships are stronger than, let's say, the schools. So that's where we really benefit those culinary schools. They send their students to us. We interview them. We figure out what is the best restaurant in New York for them. And then we reach out personally to these chefs, where sometimes these, career departments just don't have the time or don't have the contacts to be helping their students as well as we could be doing it.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, ladies, unfortunately, we are running out of time here. We had some technical difficulty, but I definitely want to get you back on. I know tonight you got a big event, so I think you've got an event going on in New York, and one of your famous networking events coming up tonight. I encourage everyone, log into Culintro, log in, become a member. Get out there, network, get to the events. I mean, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I love these things. I love these communities that are being created because, you know what, when I was coming up in the industry, I didn't have that. And as my dad always said, it's not what you know in life, it's who you know in life. And it's communities like this and people like Stephanie and Alina that are really kind of help bring the communities together and expand everybody's networks and supporting the industry. So, ladies, thank you for coming on. Fantastic stuff. And I'm definitely going to see you at one of your events in the not so distant future.
We look forward to it. Thank you
right, we'll
for
see you
inviting
soon.
us to be on your show.
Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys, make sure you check out Culintro. Fantastic stuff there. Well, unfortunately, we ran out of time. We're not going to do the after dinner drink. We will recap on our next show the food service social media universe. I was out there. It was a fantastic event. Shot some interviews, shot some film. We're going to get to that, and we'll bring that on a future show. You're watching Restaurant Wraps here on the Pulse Network every Monday, 3 o'clock. See you next time.